Hi guys, welcome to the basic Tableau workshop. So I am Fendela and I will be your host for today's workshop. So let's start with the topics that we will cover today. So we'll start with what is business intelligence, and then we will go to introduction to Tableau, Tableau data types, the sheet, dashboard, and story, and then Tableau data joining, dimensions and measures, labels and colors, hierarchies, calculated fields, parameters and sets, and then we will have a demo session and also Q&A. Okay, so let's start with the first topic, which is what is business intelligence? If you guys wondering, right, what is business intelligence? So it's basically the combination of business analytics, data mining, data visualization, and technologies to get data-driven insights and decisions. So if you don't know or you are not sure what kind of insights you could get, for example, you are a CEO in a company, right? And then your company sells some products, and then using business intelligence, you can know which product is the most popular and also which product is the least popular. So you can use these steps to find out how to boost the sales of that least popular product. And then you guys can also find out what is the best way to reach out to the customer. So for example, you can use your customer demographic data to find out maybe they are all young adults, and then maybe the best way to reach out to them is like via Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. If you guys have followed us in the Instagram, right, and then you guys can see that we already shared a poster, informational poster about business intelligence, and there you can see that there are a lot of BI tools out there. And these are some of the examples, which are Tableau, Power BI, Click, MicroStrategy, Pentaho, and Jaspersoft. So let me ask you guys a question. Why do you guys think data visualization is important? You guys can unmute to tell me, or you guys can type it in the chat box. No response, guys? Okay, so I will just explain. So let's have, okay, to be able to comprehend data easily, because it's easy to visualize data, a big set of data. Okay, yeah, so you guys got it correct. So basically why data visualization is important, because we want to make sure that everyone can understand what we are trying to say. And let's have a look at this example. Can you guys count how many trees are there? Count the number of trees. Type in the chat box, please. How many you guys can find? 10? You guys here? 10? 13? Yeah, so it's 12, not 10 or 13 or 11. So next slide, Cheryl. Okay, so what about this sequence of number? Do you guys think it's easier now for you guys to count the number of trees? Yeah, I'm sure it's easier, right? Because we can see that the tree has been taken and then the color has been changed from black to red. So instead of like you need to screen through the numbers in the first sequence of number, in the second sequence of number, you guys can easily spot the tree. So it's easier for you guys to count. So you guys can easily like say, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like that. And another example. So another example is this Anscombe quartet. You guys don't need to know what is Anscombe quartet, because I also don't know what it is. Just focus on the table. So if you guys look at the table, right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, X, Y for each number, and also a lot of decimal numbers. Can you guys tell me, is it easy to understand the data if I give you this kind of table? Okay, so mostly you guys say no, right? And then what about now? Yeah, what about now? Now we have 4 different scatter plots for each number. Do you guys think it's easier to understand? Yeah, so if you guys say yes, then you guys are normal, and then if you guys say no, meaning maybe something is wrong, or maybe you guys are genius who can understand numbers. So if I give you guys this plots, of course it's easier, right, to understand, because like let's say for example in the first plot, you can see that all the numbers are quite randomized. However, it's still linear, it's still going up. So like as x goes higher, y also goes higher. Same goes with the third plot. And also at the fourth plot, you can see that the x stays at 8, but the y is increasing. And we also have one dot which is very far. And maybe the second plot is having the parabola shape. Moving next slide, please. So the conclusion is data visualization is very important for you, for us to make sure that everyone can understand what we are trying to say, to understand the meaning behind the data. And then introduction to Tableau. Next slide, please. Okay, so why Tableau? From the informational poster in our Instagram, you guys can see that got a lot of different tools, right? However, then why Tableau? So these are a few reasons why Tableau is one of the leader in the market. So Tableau is a very powerful tool. It can handle huge amount of data. And then it is also very convenient because it can connect to a lot of different data sources. So if you are using Tableau Professional, right, there are like almost 100 or maybe more different data sources you guys can connect to. However, if you guys are using Tableau Public, right, it is limited to like not more than 10 lah. And then Tableau is also very flexible, so it is extremely easy to switch between different models. And this one I will explain to you guys later in the demo session. Next slide. And then Tableau versus Power BI. So same from the poster again. You guys can also see the Gartner quadrant for the BI tools in 2021, right? And then we can see that Tableau and Power BI are the leaders. And also, if I remember correctly, we have Click as well. So let me compare Tableau and Power BI for you guys. So Tableau, right, it is more focused on functionalities. However, Power BI is more focused on easiness. What does it mean by focus on functionalities? So Tableau has a lot of functions that allows us to create a very complex and professional visualization. But unlike Tableau, Power BI is focusing on the easiness. And to pay for that easiness, right? Power BI does not have a lot of functionalities compared to Tableau. And then Tableau can also handle fast amount of data, where Power BI can only handle limited amount of data, and it was limited to 1 gigabyte. And yeah, so Tableau is mostly used for analytics purposes, when Power BI is mostly used for internal reporting only. Next slide, please. Okay, so let's get started with Tableau Public. So I will explain about data types, sheet, dashboard, and story, data joining, and dimensions and measures. As for the labels, colors, hierarchies, calculated fields, parameters, and set, it will be explained on the demo session later. Next slide. Okay, so Tableau data types. In Tableau, right, we have 6 different data types, which are string, numeric, Boolean, date, time, and geographic. Tableau also has different icons for each data type. For string, we have ABC, and then numeric, we have hashtag, Boolean, we have TF or true false. And then for date, we have a calendar, and then date time, we have calendar and clock, and then geographic, we have the globe. And then for string basically means text. So it can be single character or words or sentences or paragraph. And if you guys are not from computing background, right, I want to let you know, like, if we are doing a program in the computer, string basically means anything inside the quotation mark. That's why I put basic Tableau in this quotation mark. And then we can also have numbers in string. So later in the Tableau, you will see that IDs are considered as string, even though it consists of numbers, because it's inside the quotation mark actually. And then numeric is basically number. It contains of whole numbers and decimal numbers. And then for Boolean, it basically is condition. It's like a condition. For example, I give to you a statement about 5 is bigger than 6. Is it true or false that 5 is bigger than 6? False, right? Yeah. So if the statement is not correct, right, it will return false. And let's say I say 5 is less than 10. Of course, it's true. So it will return true. So it's basically like yes or no. And then we have date. Yeah, typical date. We have month, date, and year. And then date time, the date with the time. And also geographic data. We have country, a state, or city, and so on. Next slide. And now we have sheet, dashboard, and story. So sheet, dashboard, and story basically means like our canvas in Tableau. So you guys don't need to pay attention to the details here. I will just summarize for you guys. So sheet basically means we have one single visualization. So it can be bar chart or pie chart or line graph. So one sheet contains of one single visualization. And for dashboard, in dashboard, we are combining different sheets. So inside a dashboard, we have multiple sheets. And let's say I have a dashboard containing of 4 different sheets. And then I create a new sheet, but I don't want to include it in the dashboard. We can combine the sheet and the dashboard inside a story. So that's the difference. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so let's have a look at data joining. So we have 4 different data joining, which are inner join, left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join. So now let's have a look at inner join. You guys can see this Venn diagram, right, at the above part. So we have 3 different colors, which are red, white, and orange. And then it's like our math, like Venn diagram, inner join. So let's have a look at these 2 tables. We have first table, we have order ID, customer ID, items, and status. And then the second table is customer ID, customer name, and area. So in both tables, we have customer ID, right? It happens in both tables. We have customer ID at the first and the second table. And since it's an inner join, we want the result will be rows, a table with rows that happen in both tables. So let's have a look. In the first table, we have CDA 750, and the second table we can find CDM 750 also, which is Luna, and then DFE 345, which is Page, and then ACF 577, which is Cedric. There is a typo there. It should be 577, and then FGA 670. Yeah, for this one, we cannot find it in the second table, right? Yeah, so this one will not be included in the result. And let's have a look at the second table. We have ABC 123, which is Amanda. Yeah, so for this Amanda, we cannot find it in the first table. So this one will also be omitted. And then we have Paige, Cedric, and Luna, and we can find it in the first table. So next slide. Yeah, so this is the result. The result will be a table containing of 3 rows, which are CDA 751, Luna, the Paige, and Cedric. The FGA 670 and Amanda will be omitted. That's the inner join. So next slide. So this is left outer join. And if you look at the Venn diagram, now we don't have the white area. We only have red and orange. And from this Venn diagram, you guys can understand that we are going to focus on our first table. What does it mean by focus on the first table? So it means that we will include everything from the first table, but for the second table, we will not do that. So next slide. So for this left outer join, the rows which will be omitted is Amanda, because Amanda does not appear in the first table. However, for FGA 670, it will still be there because we focus on the first table, right? However, the customer name and area will be blank because we cannot find it in the second table. Next. Okay, so this is right outer join. It's the complete opposite of left outer join. So the difference is that we focus on the second table. The Venn diagram, we can see that we have red and mostly is orange, the orange area. And then next slide. So for this right outer join, the rows which will be omitted is the FGA 670 because it only appears in the first table but does not appear in the second table. Now, and then this is the result. We have Amanda. However, for Amanda, the order ID, items, and status is blank because we cannot find it in the first table. Next. All right, so this is full outer join. We can see that the Venn diagram, it's all white now. That means like we take everything we combine everything. So we don't care about which rows appears in both table and which is not. So the result is, so this is the result. We have a table with 5 rows and it's included of FGA 670 together with ABC 123, which is Amanda. So even though the customer name, area, order ID, items, and status is blank. Okay, next slide. Okay, so these are dimensions and measures. So dimensions and measures are how Tableau is going to categorize our variables. I'm sure you guys already downloaded the dataset I have sent to the WhatsApp group, right? Yeah, in the dataset, we have different variables. And then later, if we open Tableau and then we connect our data, our variables will be divided into dimensions and measures. So dimensions basically contains of qualitative values, but it can also contain quantitative values that we do not wish to do calculation to. So for example, qualitative values, it can be name, geographical data, can be date also, Boolean also is qualitative. But as for the quantitative values that we do not wish to do calculation to, it can be age, ID, or quantity. For ID, right, it is the unique value, right? So we mostly do not do anything to the ID. As for the quantity, it depends on what we want to do with the data. So let's say if we don't want to do any calculation to the quantity, we can just put it in dimension. But if we want to, let's say, know the sum of the quantity or maybe the average, then we can put it in measures. So let's move on to measures. Measures contains numeric quantitative values that we can measure. So for example, sales and profit or profit ratio or discount. And then before moving on to the demo session, do you guys have any questions about what I have explained? You guys can type it in the chat box. No questions? No question, guys? Okay, nice. So I will start with the Tableau. Let me share my screen first. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, can. So this is Tableau. For your guys' information, I'm using the professional one because I'm using Tableau in my class, right? And then I have the product key from the school. But you guys don't need to worry because the interface and the functionalities are the same with the Tableau public. However, one thing you guys need to take note of. If you guys are using Tableau Public, you guys cannot save your visualization into your computer. You can only save it to the Tableau Public server. So it's going to be online and everyone can see your data. So that's why Tableau Public is not recommended for companies, because your data will be visible by everyone. And then the other difference are, for Tableau Public, you can only, if I remember correctly, you can only connect to OData and Google Sheet. But in Tableau Professional, you have a lot. That's why I say it's almost 100 or maybe more. However, you guys don't need to worry about this, because the data we are going to work on today is the Microsoft Excel file. So if you guys want to connect your data, you guys can go here. You see the connect, search for data to a file. And then we go for to a file and Microsoft Excel. However, right, the data I sent to you was in the format of .xls, right? And then it is a Microsoft Excel file. However, let's say we have data with the format of .csv, which is very common when we are analyzing data. We do not go for Microsoft Excel. We go for text file. So if the file is CSV, we go for text. And if XLS or XLSX, we go for Microsoft Excel. So let's start with the Microsoft Excel. Then we find our data, which is sample superstore. Click on it. And now this window will appear. You guys can follow along with me. And you guys can tell me if I'm going too fast, so I can slow down. And this is the data we are connected to, which is sample superstore. And then we have 3 different sheets. One sheet contains of one table. So we have orders, people, and returns. So for this demo session, I will only use the orders table. However, I will show you guys how to do the data joining in Tableau. So let's say I want to join the orders and people, right? So you guys can see this drag table here. And then we can drag orders to this area. Then we can see this table, right? We can look at our data. And then if we want to join orders with people, we cannot just straight away drag people to this area. If we do like this, right, this is not called data joining. This is relationship, which is different from the data joining. So the main difference is that if you create a relationship, you are connecting the tables. However, the tables are still separated. But if you guys do data joining, table will be merged into one. So orders joined with people will be one single table, not 2 different tables anymore. So in order to join the tables, you need to double click first on. Can you guys hear me? It says that my connection is not stable. Can hear? Yeah, okay, can hear. So if you guys want to do data joining, right? Okay. Oh, okay. So if you guys want to do data joining, you need to double click on this order box. If you double click, now it has changed, right? It says that orders is made of one table, and then only then you can drag people to this area. Now you can see the Venn diagram here, right? So this is what join. Can you guys tell me what join is this? What join, guys? Type in the chat box, please. Yeah, inner join. So correct, inner join. So in order to change it, right, you guys can just click on it. And then you can see inner, left, right, and full outer. And we can also see data source, which is region. So what does it mean by data source is that Tableau will connect and will join orders and people based on region. So can this region variable appears in both orders and people. So that's how we join our data, our tables. And then let's have a look at our data set for today. So basically, the data set is store the data of the orders made. to a superstore. So we can see that we have row ID, order date, shipping mode, customer ID, customer name, the segment of the customer can be consumer, home office, and corporate. And also we have the country, which is all US. And then we have city, state, postal code, region, product ID, category, subcategory, product name, sales, quantity, discount, and profit. So that's our data. If you guys later want to check the data after we create our sheet, you guys can easily go and review the data by clicking on this data source. So let's start our first sheet. So we can see that there are three different buttons, right? The first one is for creating new worksheet, and then the second one is to create a new dashboard, and then the third one is to create new story. So for today's session, we are going to cover worksheet and also dashboard, but story is not covered up. And let's start our first sheet. We click on this orange part, click on it, and now we can see our workspace. So this workspace, like you can see that the order simple superstore, this is the data we are now connected to. And then now we have our variables. So you guys can see this line, right? This line basically separating our variables into dimensions and measures. So we can see in dimensions, we have category, city, country, etc. And for measures, we have discount, profit, quantity, and sales. And then if you guys also notice, right, for dimensions, the color of the icon are blue, right? And if we hover through, it's also blue, right? And then for measures, it's green. So, but this it's not actually how Tableau works. So the blue and green basically differs the data based on discrete and continuous. So if it's blue, then it's discrete data, and then if it's green, it's continuous data. Do you guys need me to understand? To explain what's the difference between discrete and continuous, or you guys already know what it is? And type in the chat box. Okay, so basically, like the easy way to differentiate discrete and continuous is that for discrete, it is countable, and for measures, it is measurable. So let's see we have category here, right? Then we go to our data source and let's look at the table. Then you can see we have supplies, furniture, and technology. So basically, for discrete, we can count it. For example, we have category. We have three different category. So we can count it lah. So we have the first one is office supplies. The second one is furniture, and then the third one is technology. And then let's have a look at our measures, continuous data, which are discount, profit, quantity, and sales. So if we look at our table, let's say our sales, let's say profit first, discount. So if we say discount, right, it is considered as continuous because let's say I told you guys, this product is in discount is 0.2. Can you guys also confirm will be confused, right? Like 0.2, we need to know the measurement. We need to know if it's maybe 0.2 ringgit or maybe 0.2%. That's the difference between discrete and continuous. So for discrete, it is easily countable. So the first one is office supplies, second is furniture, the third is technology. And then for continuous, it's not countable, it's measurable. So we need a measure to measure it. Do you guys get it from here until here? Okay, another easy way to differentiate it is discrete is always a whole number. It's always whole. We do not have decimal in discrete. However, for continuous, we can have whole number, but it's mostly decimals. Yeah. And then another thing is that these boxes are called shells. So it's called shelves. So we have pages, filters, and marks. And in marks, we have color, size, text, detail, and full tip. Later, we will have a look at it. And then we also have the column and rows. So this column and rows works the same as the tables, column, and rows. And then we have our canvas. So let's start with our first data visualization, which is we want to look at the most profitable customer segment and what is the most popular product. So let's rename our sheet. So how do we rename our sheet? We go here to sheet 1, then we double click on it, and then we can just type it. So it will be most profitable customer segment and the most popular product. Popular category, sorry. Most popular category. So after we rename here, you guys notice that it's also updated here. And I want to change the formatting, right? So I copy from here, and then I double click, and let's paste the text here. And we can change the font. We can also change the size, make it bold, or make it italic or underline, and also can change the color, and then change the alignment also. Then we click OK. Now it's formatted. And then from the title, we can see that we need the variable of profit, customer segment, and also category. So we need 3 different variables. So in Tableau, everything is basically just drag and drop. So since we need profit, right? We can just go here and drag profit to the rows or to the columns, let's say. So it's up to you. You want to put in rows or columns, it doesn't matter. And then we also need the customer segment. So let's find customer segment here. And then we put it in rows. Now you guys can see that we have a bar chart already, right? So after you drag your data, right, Tableau will automatically create a data visualization for you. Let's say this one is bar chart. So this means Tableau thinks that bar chart is the best way to visualize these 2 data. It can be a scatter plot, it can be pie chart, it can be anything. It's just like based on Tableau's calculation. And then after profit and customer segment, we have category. So let's find category and drag it here beside segment. Now we can see that we have the bar chart, and it will divide the profit based on customer segment, which are consumer, corporate, and home office. And then after segment, we have category. So in each segment, we will have those 3 categories, which are furniture, office supplies, and technology. Then we can see the profit for which action. Oh yeah, what you want me to repeat, Tasnim? Which part you want me to repeat?
Never mind. I managed to catch up.
Okay.
Thank you.
So now we have our visualization. Like from this, we already can see that we can see that consumer is the most profitable segment, and the highest and the most popular product is technology, because the profit is the highest. And let's sort this bar chart. So we can use these two buttons. We can see it's the sorted ascending and sorted descending. So let's sort it descending. So it will automatically sort for you. And then after that, let's say we want to have the bar chart to be vertical. This one is horizontal, right? It's going there. It's going to the right. Let's say I want to make it going up. So we can click on this button, which is swap column and rows. So if we click on it, now it will be swapped the position. So the segment and category will be at column, and some profit will be at rows. And now this visualization, right, it's showing the profit, the sum of the profit. But I do not want that. I want, let's say I want to show the average sales, average profit, sorry. So how do we change this sum to average? So how do we do that? We go to this pills. So this is called pills in Tableau. Pills. Yeah, so this one is called pills. So this is the sum profit pill. Then we click on this drop down, right? We click on it. And then we can see that we have measure sum. So we can change it to average, median, count, maximum, minimum, percentile, and the others. And let's go for average. So now we can see that the bars is changing, right? And then I also want to change the fit. So we can go to here, the standard one. We go to entire field to make it like fit our canvas. So it's bigger and clearer. And then now we already have our visualization. However, if we look at this visualization, right, it's like very simple, like very plain only. The color is the same, and then numbers only. And then what we can do to improve this visualization, like what can we do to make it more professional and more detailed? So we have this color size label, right? Let's say I want to change the color of the bars. So we can go to color, and then we can click on it and change the color space, like whatever we want. But even change the color, right, it's still the same. It's the same color for every bars. So let's say I want to increase the granularity of this visualization. So granularity basically means the details of this visualization. Am I lagging? Because it says that my connection is unstable. Am I lagging, guys? Okay, no. So yeah, so let's say I want to increase the granularity, right? Granularity basically means the detail of our visualization. So let's say I want to change the color based on the region. I can go to region, and then I can drag region to color. After that, we can see that we have a stack chart, and then we have the legend here. So we know that blue is central, orange is east, and then we have south and west. But however, I do not want this because it's kind of complicated for our first sheet. So let's change. So if we want to remove, right, we can just drag it to another place, wherever we want. Yeah, so it will be removed. So let's say I want to change the color based on the subcategory. So each subcategory will have different color. So let's go to category, and then we put to color. Now we have 3 different colors. So for technology and etc. And now we can also see that, let's say for technology in consumer, we know that the profit is between 70 and 75, but we do not know the exact value. Or we only can see if we hover our cursor to it. We can see the average profit is 74.45. But how, let's say I want to put a label here, above here, like what is the profit? So I can do that by dragging profit. We drag to label, this label box, we drag it here. Now we can see the label. However, now it's 70,000 plus, which is like, doesn't make sense. That's the problem is that in here, right, we have average profit. However, in the label, we have some profit. So the same thing, we need to change it to average. So we click on it and then change the measure to average. So now it makes sense already. So it's 74.45. And then we can also change the size. Yeah, so we can change the size. And also here, let's assume that this store is in Malaysia. So of course the profit is in ringgit, right? So let's say we want to change these numbers to ringgit. So it can be ringgit, 5 ringgit, 10 ringgit, 15 ringgit. How do we do that? So we go here and then we right click on it. And then we go for format. And then you guys can see got axis and pane, right? So for pane is basically the label inside this. It's not the axis. This is called axis, y-axis and x-axis, but we don't have x-axis now. We only have y-axis, which is average profit. So if we edit on pane, right, it will edit the label here. If we change it to currency, so you can see that it's this one which changed, not the axis. So let's undo. Let's start with the axis first. So we go to axis, and then we go to scale, and then change the numbers. So let's go for a currency standard. Now we can easily find Malaysia. Click Malaysia. Yeah, we can see Malaysia. Click on it. Now it's RM 95.00, right? We know that the 00 is useless, so we can go to currency custom, and then we decrease the decimal places to 0, so we don't have any 00. And then after that, let's say we want to change the label also, we go to pane, and then go to default numbers, change it to currency as well. And then go to custom, and then decrease the decimal places. Now, but if we decrease, right, it's not 00, right? So it's better to not decrease that. Okay, so we have our labels and axis done. Let's move on to, okay, so let's move on to how to sort the bars. So just now I mentioned about these two buttons, right? It can easily sort for you guys, descending or ascending. So it will sort based on the profit, based on the average profit. So let's say I want to sort these bars based on sales. Let's say I want to have maybe here is the lowest sale and here is higher sale. So higher profit does not mean higher sales. So how I can do that? Let's go to the column. Go to column, right, and then go to segment. It can also, category also can, but since the segment is the first, we go to segment, and then we click on it, and then we go to sort. Now we have sort, and we have different way to sort that. Data source order is basically just ascending, descending, and the alphabetical order. Field is the based on what variables you want. Manual is we can drag it manually. As for nested, I'm not sure about this, and I think it's quite like complicated. Let's go for field, and then we have, after we click field, we have ascending, descending, and then we have field names. Since we want to sort based on sales, we click on this, and then we find sales. Okay, now it's changed already, and then we can also change the aggregation. We can have sum of sales or average of sale, median of sale. Let's go for average. Now it's also changed. Now we can see that. Okay. Now we can see that. So the profit, if the profit is if the profit is low, the sales also low for this case. But it's not always the case. But for this one, that's the case. So yeah. So from this visualization, we can get some insights. So one of the insight we can get is that for this superstore, the most profitable customer segment is home office, and the most popular category, we can see that it's technology because it's the highest of all, and the least popular is furniture because the sales and profit is like the lowest, right? And then we can also know that the sales and profit is linear because like sales goes up, then profit also goes up. Yeah, so that's the insights we can get from our first sheet. And then let's move on to our second sheet. Before I move on, do you guys have any questions, or you guys want me to repeat anything?
Can you please repeat the last part?
Which part? Like what? Which function or which part?
When you were doing the sorting of the segment?
Yeah, so if I want to, if let's say I click on this, right, it will sort based on the y-axis. it will sort based on the y-axis, which is average profit. However, if you want to have another variable as your base, you can go to column to do a sorting. You go to column, you see, and then now we have two different columns, right? We have segment and category. We can click on both, up to you. Let's go for segment. Then we click on this drop down. We can see we have sort. Let's click on sort. And then we have a quite different way of sorting. And then because we want to sort based on sales, we go for field. And then we can go for ascending or descending. And also the field name, we can choose any field we want, but for this case, we go for sales. And then we can also change the aggregation. We can sort it based on sum of sale or average of sale. Let's go for average. Okay, after that, this is already sorted. Tableau has already sorted for you. Yeah, so do you understand? Or do I need to repeat that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so no more questions? Oh, good. Okay, so let's move on to our second sheet. Let's click on this new sheet button, click on it. Now we already have a new sheet. And at the second sheet, we will have a look at the sales and profit in each state. So we have let's rename it first, so it's easier for us to differentiate. Sales and profit of different state. Okay, we copy it first, and then we format this. Change the size, make it bold, so change the color to make it consistent. Okay, so we have sales and profit of different state. So the variables we need are sales, profit, and also state. So let's drag profit first. Maybe we can drag it to rows, and then we put it and we drag sales. Yeah. Now we have two different bars, right? Because we have both sales and profit as our row. And then we go for state, we find the state, then put it in column. So let's say I want to have this so Tableau shows the bar chart, right? So Tableau thinks that bar chart is the best way to show the data, to visualize this data. However, I want to use the map. So we can go to this show me tab. So this show me tab is like very cool function of Tableau. So like I have said before, Tableau is very flexible. It is extremely easy to switch between models. And this is what I meant before. So it's the show me tab. Here you can see that we have a lot of different models we can choose. And another cool thing about this show me tab is that, let's say I want to change to this lines continuous try. Tableau will tell you what you need to add to your data before you change to this particular model. So you guys can see that for lines continuous try 1 day, 0 or more dimensions, 1 or more measures. So it will show you what you need to add. And then this, if the color is like emphasized on, like it's not faded, meaning you can use it. Now I want to go for symbol maps. I click on it. Okay, yeah. So you can see that I have the map. So Tableau is like very smart. You can see that it automatically shows the state of America. And then we can see that from this legend, we can see that sum of sales, and it's the sales is shown by the color. So the colors means if the blue is darker, the darker the blue is, the higher the sale is. And if the blue is lighter, meaning the sales is lower. As for the size, is showing the profit. Then you guys can see, right, each circle has different size. This one is bigger than the others. if the size is bigger, it means that the profit is higher. And then if the circle is smaller, it means that the profit is lower. And then you guys can also see the difference between the colors. This one is dark blue, this one is quite dark blue, and then we have very light blue. So dark blue means higher sales and the light blue means the lower sales. So let's increase the size of the circle. We'll click on size and then we can increase it a bit, but make sure it's not overlapping, okay? So now we have some profit and some sales, right, as the details, but I don't want sum. I want to have it as average. So can you guys tell me how can I change the sum to average? Anyone? Can unmute and tell me how to change this sum to average? I have explained in the first sheet already. Do you guys remember how?
You go to the drop down for the profit and then click on measures.
Okay.
And then change it to average.
Okay. Thank you. And then we also need to do the same for sales. We click on the drop down, then we go to measure and also average. So now the size and the color has been changed, right? It's not California does not have the highest profit anymore. And then we can see that from the insights we can get from this sheet is that Wyoming has the highest profit and Vermont has the biggest sales. Wyoming has the highest sales because the blue is the darkest, and Vermont has the highest profit because the circle is the biggest of all. So that's the insights we can get from this this visualization. So before I move on to the new sheet, do you guys have any questions? No questions. Okay. So let's move on to our third sheet. And in this third sheet, we will have a look at the sales and profit per items. So here we will cover the topic of hierarchy. So do you guys have any idea what is hierarchy? You guys have any idea? Order of importance. Yeah. So hierarchy basically means the related variables, but it has the order. So can you guys look at these variables, right? And then tell me what variables I can create a hierarchy from. No answer, guys. What variables I can create hierarchy from? We have two actually. We can create two hierarchy from these variables. You guys have any idea or no? Okay, I assume that, yeah, region, state, city also can. But let's have a look at product. Let's have a look at product. So let's rename the sheet first. So I want to have a look at sales and profit per items. Sales and profit per items. Let's change the formatting. Okay, so beside region, state, city, right, we also have category, subcategory, and product name. So we can like group them together to create a hierarchy. So in Tableau, right, it's very easy to create a hierarchy. You only need to drag and drop. So since the category is the highest, right, we can drag subcategory to category. So it will automatically create a hierarchy for you. You see, can you see this pop out? Is it visible for you guys or it's not visible? We have a create hierarchy pops out here. Okay, you can see. So let's rename it as product. Then we click OK. So now we already have the hierarchy that contains category and subcategory. So the highest hierarchy is category followed by subcategory. And then we can also add product name below subcategory. So this product has the information of the category and the subcategory together with the product name. So let's have a look at, okay, so let's start sales and profit per item. So the variables we need are sales, profit, and items. So for items, it's basically the same with product. So let's drag sales to the rows together with the profit. Okay, let's swap it. So column will be sales and profit, and then we need the items. So we can just drag this hierarchy we have just created, which is product, and then we put it in rows. So now we, even though we drag product, right, it will still shows category. However, if you guys notice, we have this additional icon, the plus icon. So if you click on it, right, you see, we now have subcategory as well. Besides category, we have subcategory, and we also can hide it. We can just show category, and we can drill down. We can go down to subcategory and product name as well. So we can just click on this plus sign, and then if you want to see each product, you can click on subcategory. This plus sign beside subcategory. So now we can see product name. So there are a lot of product name, and then let's not see the product name. Let's just stop at subcategory. So that's the use of hierarchy. So instead of you guys manually drag category, subcategory, or product name to here, you can just create a hierarchy. So it's easy for you guys to like extend or hide. And then let's change the color of the bars. Let's drag profit to, okay. So since we have two different columns, right? Two different columns, which are sales and profit. You guys see at this marked shells, we have all, sum, and sales. Sales and profit. So if we edit the color size and label at all, both of sales and profit will be changed. So let's say I want to change the color to orange. So both sales and profit will be changed to orange. However, if I want to change it one by one, I need to go, let's say I want to change sales, I need to click on this. So we go to sales, and then let's say I want to change the colors based on the sales. So I just drag sales to the color. So now the color has changed, right? So you guys need to make sure that the center is 0. So for sales, right, it's impossible to have negative sales. So we can change the color, and to advance, we go to, okay, so we go here to the color, and then we go edit colors, and then we go to advance. We go advance, then we can click on center, and then we put 0 as the center. Okay, so now it will start from 0 to 330,000 plus. And then now we can see that, so the higher the sales, the darker the blue is. And then the lower the sales, then the lighter the blue is. And then if you want to change profit, right, we just click on this sum profit, click on it. Okay. So then we can just drag profit to the color. So the color has changed as well. You can see that so for profit, right, it is possible to have negative profit. That means that we are having a loss, not a profit anymore. So we lose. So instead of blue and orange, let's change it to blue and red. So let's click on it. On the palette, we click on red and white, red, blue, white differentiation. So this is the most common color palette to like shows the negative and positive value. So go to advance. So for profit, right, it is very important to make sure that the center is 0, because in profit it is possible to have negative values. So anything below 0 will be red, and anything above 0 will be blue. Then we click on OK. Now we can see that the color has been changed from to the blue and red. Yeah, so if we want to increase the detail, we can also click on this and see which, let's say we want to know which item is killing us, which item has the highest loss. So we can see here we have QB5 CubeX 3D printer double head print, which the profit is like very high. Sorry, the loss is very high. So as a superstore manager, like for example, you guys can from this data, you guys can choose to like maybe discontinue this product, or maybe come up with strategy that can boost the sales of this product. Yeah, so that's the use of this visualization. You can find out which product is like the most popular, and you guys can also see which one is the least popular. So you can do something to it. Now let's make it entire view. Yeah, so it's clearer. And then let's move on to the next sheet. And before I move, do you guys have any questions? No questions, guys. No questions. Then I can move on. Let's have another new worksheet. And wait, sorry, how did you make the colors different? Oh, for colors, since we have two different columns, right? We have category and subcategory, and now in the marks shelves, you can see that we have all, some sales, and some profit. So if let's say you want to change both of them, you can just change this. You go to all, and then you go for a color, and then you choose the color. But now here you already set it, right? Let's say I remove it. Okay, so I remove it first. Okay, so if we change it in all, the color will be the same for both sales and profit. However, if you want to have different color for sales and profit, you need to change it one by one. You need to go to some sales, and then you go to some profit. Okay, so another cool thing about Tableau, it has infinity number, like it's unlimited number of undo. So you can just undo until the very beginning. Yeah, that's another cool thing about Tableau. Okay, you're welcome. Then let's move on to our fourth sheet. Now let's rename it. So in the fourth sheet, we are going to have a look at the correlation between sales and discount of items in each region. So correlation basically means connection. Yeah. So we want to look at the connection between sales and discount on items in each region. Oh, sorry, it's not items. Items is like too big. Let's look at category. Change the format. Okay. So now we have sales, discount, and category, and also region. Can you guys tell me maybe you guys can guess what's the best way to visualize this data? Like what's the best way we can do to visualize this question? Do you guys have any idea? You guys can just guess. From here, we have a lot. We have a lot. Okay, so so no one guess. So let's just scatter plot. Yeah, correct. So scatter plot is like the best way to visualize this. So title, we have sales, discount, category, and region. So let's start with sales and discount. So let's drag sales to column and then discount to rows. Now we have the scatter plot with one dot here. Why we have only one dot? It's because Tableau will automatically aggregate since it's continuous data, right? So Tableau will automatically aggregate it. So aggregate means like the calculation. So this one is sum. So this will show the sum of the sales as well as the sum of the discount. So later we will, if we add the item name, it will not show like this. Let's go for product name, since we want to have a look on between sales discount of items. There should be of items here. We go for product name, we put it here. Now we have a lot of dots, right? Let's swap it. Yeah, we have a lot of dots here. And now it's like very confusing, right? Because we know there are dots, but we don't know what is that dot is showing. So let's say I want to change the color of the dot. So now in the title we have a category, right? Category and also region. So we can increase the granularity of this visualization by adding the details of the category and also the region. So how can we do that? We have colors and label, right? So to increase the granularity, we can utilize both color and size. So since we have category and each region, let's go for a category and drag it to color. So now we have the legend here. So the color now has been differentiated based on the category. So blue for furniture, orange for and for technology. And then we still have the region left. So what we can do is we put a region to size. To shape. You can also put the size, but let's look at the shape because we have not covered it yet. Let's put it in the shape. Now we can see that we have different shape for different regions. So for central we have circle, and east we have square, and then south we have plus, and west we have X. So now from this scatter plot, right, we can get the insight of the correlation between sales and discount for each item. So can you guys tell me what is the insight we can get from this scatter plot? Like what is the correlation between sales and discount from this scatter plot? Can anyone tell me in the chat box or unmute yourself? No answer. Please answer, guys. It's almost the end of the session. Please give some guess maybe in the chat. Okay, so the lower the discount, the higher the sale. So if you look at here, right, we have discount as x-axis and then our sales as the y-axis. Then we can see that. And then we can see that the sales, right? The sales here is like very high, like higher. And then as the discount increases, the sales does not go higher. It's like very low. So it really does make sense. For example, you are a seller and then you have maybe multiple products. And then let's say you have this one product which is like very popular, like a lot of people want to buy. Do you guys want to, since a lot of people want to buy, right? Do you guys want to give discount for it? For me, right, if I am the seller, I will not give any discount to that particular product. Maybe I will increase the price because many people wants to buy it. It's very popular. However, right, if you have a product which is like very not popular, nobody wants to buy it, and then you need to do something, right, to make people wants to buy it. So maybe you give discount, and then if you give discount, so from this this plot, we can see that if we give discount, meaning the sales is very low. That's why we give discount. So yeah, so that makes sense. And another thing that I will cover here is called filter and highlight. Filter and highlight. So let's see. Let's check our Tableau. You see this icon, right? This pencil icon together with a small line you guys need to check your Tableau if we have the line, meaning the highlight function is enabled, and if we don't have line, then you need to click on it and click enable workbook highlighting. After you enable it, now we can use the highlight function. So now we have two different legend, right? And if you hover through this category legend, we also have the same icon. And then we can see that, oh, highlight selected items. We can click on it, and now it's enabled because it has small line here. As for region, it's not enabled yet. So we just need to click on it, and now it has line. So how highlight works is like this. So let's say you click on furniture. You can see that when we click on furniture, only the dots that shows furniture is being emphasized on. So furniture is blue, right? So in this scatter plot, only the blue dots are being emphasized on. So the office supplies and technology is being faded. Like the color is like faded lah. And let's see for the office supplies and technology is the same. We can also show, let's say we want to look at central region only. Now we can see that emphasize on circles, even though the color is different, but the shapes are all circle. And the same goes with the other region. So we can also do multiple highlighting. So let's say I want to highlight on furniture and supplies. So how do I do that? So you click on furniture first, and then on your keyboard, you click on control. After you click control, you can click on office supplies as well. Yeah, so now both furniture and office supplies are being highlighted. The same goes with region. Let's say we want to show central and south. You click on central first, and then you click control in your keyboard, and then you go for south. Now it highlights both central and south. And then for the filter, right, it is different from this highlight. So if highlight, let's say we highlight furniture, even though furniture is being emphasized on, we still can see the others. We still can see office supplies and technology. However, if we use filter, we cannot see the others. If we focus on furniture, we can only see furniture. If we choose office supplies, we can only see at office supplies. So let's have a look at it. So now we can see that we have filters here, filter shelves. Let's say we want to filter based on category. So we just drag, where's category? Oh yeah, so we just drag category to filters. Now we can see this pops out, right? We just click OK. And then, yeah, so nothing happens. You need to click on the drop down and then click on show filter. Now we have the filters here. So let's have a look at, let's say I want to only look at furniture. Now we only have furniture. Unlike highlighting, right, we can still see the others, right? But for filters, it only shows whatever we pick. Yeah, so we also can have different type of filters. We can have single value list. So we can only choose one, or we have single value drop down, and also the slider. We can slide it. Yeah, you can change it from here. And then let's go for multiple values list, which is like the easiest. So we can just tick and untick. So that's highlights, that's filters. So do you guys have any question for filter and highlights? You guys can type in the chat box. If no, then I can move on to another sheet. Okay, no questions. Nice. So let's move on to another sheet. And for this sheet, we are going to have a look at the profit margin. So let's rename the sheet profit margin growth from 2013 to 2016. So this data have the order data from 2016 from 2013 to 2016. So let's format it first. Okay, so we have profit margin, and then we also have this date. But now, if you look at your variable side, we don't have any profit margin. Can you guys tell me what's the formula to calculate profit margin? Because I'm also not sure, because I'm not from finance or anything. Let's assume I don't know. Can you guys tell me what's the formula for this? For profit margin, how we can calculate it from the variables we have. Profit divided by, yeah, correct. So the formula is profit divided by sales. So we need to calculate it first, right? So in order to do that, we need to create a new variable, which is called as calculated field. So how we can create a calculated field? We can click on this drop-down menu. We have create calculated fields, or we can also right-click on this blank space, right-click, and then it will also show calculated field here. So we click on it, and then let's rename it as profit margin. Okay, so we have profit margin, and here we can put the formula. So the formula is the sum of profit divided by sum of sales. Yeah, sum of sales. You guys can see that the calculation is valid. If it's not valid, right, Tableau will show calculation contains error. So now it's valid. We click apply. Click apply. Okay. How you click the calculation box again? So you can go to this drop down menu, right? You can go and then you click calculated field, or you go to this blank space here. Anywhere also can. Then you right click, then you can click on create calculated fields. So now we have, okay. So now we have profit margin already, right? So now it's very easy to visualize. We have profit margin and date. So we need both of them. So let's drag profit margin to rows, and then let's put order date as the column. So now we have the bar chart, but I don't want bar chart anymore. So I want to change it to line graph. So how can I change it to line graph? We have two different options. One is from show me tab, and one is from this marked shelves. We have this automatic, right? And we have drop down. If you guys click on it, you guys can see that we have different options. We have bar, line, area, square, circle, and etc. Let's go for line. Now we can see that, sorry, this one is order ID. I mean order date. Yeah, order date. Order date, sorry. Now we can change it from here, can change it to bar, and also we can change it to line, and here also can. We also have line continuous here. So line continuous and line discrete is different. And in Tableau, right, if you have data, it will automatically give you a hierarchy. So it will start with year, and then if you drill down, you will have quarter. And then if you go down again, you have month, and then week, and then day. So you can see that the fields are blue. Blue means discrete, right? Since if it's discrete, the line will be separated into different column. But I do not want that, because I want to show the growth. I want it to be continuous. So what can I do is I change this year to continuous. So how can I do that? Is I go to here, click on the drop down, and then we go for you guys can see that we have year, quarter, month, day, and more. We have two of this. So, and then there's a line. So the above part is for the for discrete, and this below part is for continuous. So now we are in the discrete part, right? So click on the second year. Now it's continuous. Now it's green. So it's continuous. So let's drill down to month. Click on it. You see that if you use continuous, right, it will not add up your another column here. It will stays one as one single column. Let's go for the month. Now we can see line graph showing the margin growth for 2013 to 2016. And let's say I want to have different lines for different category. I can just take category and drag it here. Now we have three different lines: red, orange, and blue. Yeah, so red is for technology, blue for furniture, and orange for office supplies. So from this visualization, we can get the insight that this store is like not very stable. Okay. Guys, it's already 9:30, right? So is it okay if I continue? Because just now I have a technical difficulty. I'm afraid maybe you guys need to go. Yeah. Okay, so I will just continue. Now we can, from this visualization, we can get the insight of this superstore is not very stable. We can see that even though we have the time where the profit margin increases, but when it goes down, it goes down very low. So yeah, if let's say you are a company, you are an investor, you will like, if me like, I will not invest on this store because the profit margin is not very stable. And then let's move on to, so before we switch to another sheet, do you guys have any question on this? On this visualization line graph? No question? Okay, so no question. Let's move on to our last sheet. And in this sheet, we will have a look at the most valuable customers and the most valuable customer, no end. So let's rename the sheet. So let's put most valuable customer. So let's format this, change the size, make it bold, change to blue, and then alignment to center. Okay, so now we want to look at the most valuable customers. And in this sheet, we will cover parameter and sets. So most valuable customers mean those customers who spend the most in this store. So can you guys tell me what variable we need for this visualization? We only need two different variables. Can you guys tell me what are those? Most valuable customers. So it's there are customers who spend the most. Yeah, correct, Jane. So it's customer name and sales. Thank you, Jane. So we will need customer name and also sales. Let's put customer name on rows. On rows. And then now we have so many customers name, right? But we don't have the value yet. So let's drag sales, put in column. Now we have a bar chart. So let's sort it. So let's sort it by descending. So now we have the descending order of valuable customers. So let's say I want to create a parameter. So parameter basically works the same with filter. However, if we create a filter, right, we can only use it in one single sheet. For example, this one, right? If we create on this sheet, we cannot use this filter to another sheet. So, but for parameter, after we create a parameter, it can be used across all sheets we have created. And also, right, in Tableau, the parameter has different types. However, I will only cover the top end parameter today because the other parameters requires like a little complex calculations. But for the top end, there is no calculation. You guys can, later in the slides, you can find the courses in the Udemy or YouTube later. I already put the link there. You guys can check it out later. And then let's start with creating the parameter. So how can we create a parameter? So if we want to create filters, we can just drag it to filter shelves, right? But unlike filter, we need to go here. It's the same with creating calculated fields. We can go to this drop down, or we can right click on the blank space. If we right click, now we can see create parameter. Now we click create parameter, and then let's rename it as top and parameter. Now we have three different type of top and parameter. Of the parameter, we have all, list, and range. This all is like, it will show everything which is like useless. And then let's go for list. If we have list, right, we can manually specify what we want, what value we want to filter. Let's say I want to show top 5 valuable customer or top 10 valuable customer. I can put the value as 5, and then 10, maybe 15, 20. After that, display as, we can put maybe top 5 and top, and then top 15, and then also top 20. Sorry, top 20. Yeah. So this basically means, right, later after we create after we click OK, it will show the parameter of where we can choose from 5, 10, 15, or 12. So we can choose to show top 5 customers, or top 10 customers, top 15 customer, or top 20. However, this is not very practical if you have a long list. So I will suggest you guys to go for range. If you click on range, right, you can set the minimum, maximum, and step size. For, let's say you put the minimum as 5, meaning the minimum customer it will show is 5, and the maximum, let's set it as 50. So it will show the most valuable customers from 5 to 50. And then we can change the step size to 5. So as you, after you put the parameter, you can slide it, right? If you slide it, every slide, it will increase 5. It will increase by 5. So from 5, it doesn't go to 6, 7. It just straight away go to 10, and then 15, and then 20, 25. So let's click OK. Then now we have parameter here. We have parameter, right? But we cannot use it yet because it's just a parameter. To make use of this parameter, we need to create what we call as set. So set is the one who subsetting the visualization. So let's have a look. So since we have customer name as rows, we want to subset the customers, right? We want to see the top 5 customers, let's say. So we go to customer name, and then we click on this drop down icon. Then we can see, which we go to create, and we can see that we can create a set. So we click on this, create set, and then we have general, condition, and top. So let's go for top, and then click by field. Okay, so now we have top, right? And then we have 10 here, but we want to change it to the parameter we have created, which is top and parameter, and then click on it. And then we can change the variable. So if we put sales, right, this means that this step will subset the customers based on the sales. We can also change it to profit or to discount or to other variables, but let's go for sales and the sum of the sales. So after that, we just click OK. Now we already have the customer name set. And then we have the parameter. We can click on it and choose show parameter. Now we can see the sliders, right? You can start from 5, 10, 15, and so on. And then this set we can put here in the rows. So now we can see we have in, out, right? In, out, in, and out. So top 5 parameter we put as 5, and then you can see that the line is dividing the customers. Like, so in the in we have 5, and then the others is like the out lah. Meaning that top 5 parameter are the top 5 customers are Saint Miller, Tamara, Raymond, Tom, and Adrian. It stops here. It stopped at Adrian. Let's say I increase it to 10. Now the line will change to Christopher. So these are 10 customers, and then let's say I increase again to 15. Then it will go down again to Caroline. So let's say I want to filter out these customers. Let's say I don't want to see them. I want to see only the top 10, right? So how do we do that? It's by filter. Now we just filter. So we put the set to the filter. Now we can see that the others are being omitted. We only have what we want to see. So let's say I put the parameter as 20, then it will increase. If I put 5, then it will increase to 5. So let's put it as entire field. Yeah. So this is how parameter and set works. So before we move on to dashboard, creating a dashboard, do you guys have any questions about parameter and set? I think no question from you guys. So let's move on to creating a dashboard. So we have 3 different buttons here, and then instead of going for new worksheet, we go for the second button, which is create dashboard. So let's click on it. Now we have our dashboard here. We have dashboard and layout, and we have the size and also sheets. So these are the sheets we have created. If we hover to, we can see the sheets. And then let's resize the dashboard, make it bigger. Okay, done. So let's have a dashboard that shows the sales of products in every state. So we already created this sales and profit of different state, right? So you can just drag the sheets to your dashboard. So I will drag this sheet to the dashboard. However, if you straight away drag your sheets to the dashboard, right, it will fit the entire space. It's hard to resize. You need to resize one by one, and also the legend will also need to resize manually. So instead of doing that, before you drop your sheet to the dashboard, you need to click shift on your keyboard. Only then you can drag and drop. And then so you click shift, and then let's drag this sales and profit of different state to the dashboard. You guys can see the difference, right? Now it's smaller. It's easier for us to like how to say, to manage. Like you can choose wherever you want to put the legend. You can put it here, put it there, up to you. Now let's put it here so it doesn't bother another sheet. Okay, so can also increase again. Okay, so let's have another sheet which is sales and profit per item. Don't forget to click shift on your keyboard and drag it here. Let's resize it. So now we only have subcategory, right? We can drill down to product name, and if it's like this, you go to your sheet and then you change the fit to standard. Yeah. After that, you go back to your dashboard. Oh, it doesn't change. Let's remove it and put it again. Yeah, now we can see it better. That's correct. So you can, it's not too small. And then after that, we will have this, we will have this sheet in the dashboard. So shift and drag the sheet and resize it. Okay, so this is the legend for sales and profit per item. Let's decrease the size and put the legend here. Okay, so this one also got legend. Let's put it, wait, resize first. Yeah, put the legend. Sorry, put the legend. Yeah. Okay, now we have a dashboard including of 3 different sheets. So let's say I want to have a look at the sales and profit of items in the state of Fairmont. So if I just click on Fairmont, right, it will not affect the other sheet. So how to make this map affect the other sheets? So we click on this. We click on this map, and then we can see these icons, right? We have remove and then go to sheet and then use as filter as well as more options. So we, in order to set it as to make other sheets follow this sheet, this particular sheet, we click the use as filter. Now after we click it, it will change to white. And now if you click on the states, right? For example, Montana. Now you can see that the other sheets is changing. It will shows only the sales and profit of Montana. And let's go for Wyoming. Yeah, it's the same. It will follow this particular sheet. Okay, so let's look at Fairmont. We can see that okay, so this one has an error. It's red. So I think the center is not 0. So let's go to the sheet and then change the color first. Yeah, so for the profit, right, you always need to make sure that the center is 0 because it has a negative value. So after you change the center to 0, click OK. Now the color has been changed. Yeah, this also here also have been changed. And then we can, from this dashboard, right, we can see that in Vermont, the category with the highest sale is furniture, and the subcategory with the highest sale is bookcases, and the product name is Riverside Palace Royal Lawyers Bookcase. And we also can see that the least popular item is paper or art and envelopes, which is under office supplies. We can see that these are the products which are not very popular because the sales and profit is like very low until we cannot see anymore. And then we can also look at the most profitable customer segment. So we can see that in Vermont, the most profitable customer segment is corporate because it has the highest average profit, which is I forgot to change the label. We should have changed it to ringgit. So let's change it. Click on it and go to shift and go for label. Let's go to format and then go to paint. Yeah, in the numbers we need to change it to ringgit, Malaysia ringgit. Malaysia ringgit. Change the, yeah, no need to delete the decimal places. Yeah, so now the labels are in ringgit already. So let's go back to the dashboard. So we see that customer segment environment is corporate, with the furniture being the highest, being the most popular item as category. And then we can, you guys can also like, you can check maybe Minnesota, and you guys can see that, in the Minnesota winners of IBCO, maybe IBCO 21 is like the most popular. And then the most profitable customer segment is home office, with technology being the most popular category. And then before we end the demo session, do you guys have any questions, or like I am being too fast, or you guys need any clarification? You can unmute or type it in the chat box. No questions? No question, guys? Okay, you can request. Don't play like Jane. Okay, no question, right? Okay, so let's go back to the slides. Wait, I have another thing to share to you guys. Don't leave yet. Let me stop sharing. And let me share again the slides. Wait a minute, please. Let me set up something. Okay, let me share the slides. Okay, this is slide. Okay, so this is the links I mentioned before. So you guys can find out later this slide I will share to you guys. You guys can find this Tableau Udemy course. I also take this course, and then you can go for Tableau free course in YouTube, and also this Tableau context from the Tableau itself. Yeah, so these are the few useful links you guys can check out.